Alright, here's a really important one, topic that everybody needs to know about, and that is clocking in and clocking out for your shifts. And you do that by using a telephony system. I'll tell you about it. So your arrival call, you're required to clock in and out using the telephony system. It's called telephony. Kind of sounds funny, but the telephony number, and you're going to want to put this in your phone or save it somewhere. This phone number is 1-855-653-9196. Please remember that number, as that's the number you need to call when you arrive at your client's home. You call that number, the telephony number, and you call from your client's phone. We do that because that ensures that you're at the home when you clock in. So the first thing you do when you get to a client's home is you ask to use their phone, you call that number, and you do your arrival call. After the office receives your new hire paperwork you're doing right now, they will also contact you and give you a Syneto ID. Syneto is the name of the telephony system, and so your Syneto ID is a unique ID specific to you. So once we get your paperwork, give us a day or give us a little bit. We'll get your ID before you go to your first shift, obviously, but please remember your ID, because what it'll say is it'll say press 1 for arrival or 2 for departure. So when you get there, you press 1. It'll say enter in your Syneto ID. You'll put in 297 or whatever your ID is, and press pound. It'll say thank you, you're clocked in. Then you go about doing your shift with the client, and then you do that from the client's home phone number. Only in rare circumstances, such as the client doesn't have a phone number or doesn't have a phone, the office can assign or grant access to a caregiver to use their cell phone to clock in and out. That's a very rare circumstance. It doesn't happen very often, but keep us informed if there are issues. But first thing you do is you clock in when you get there, and then upon leaving the client's home, you will call from the client's phone, enter in your telephony ID again, and this time you're going to press 2 to clock out, 2 for departure. Please make sure the call is free from any loud noise or any other interference. We do not use a speaker phone when making the call. Please make sure to wait for the thank you, goodbye at the end of the call before hanging up. That way it'll ensure that the call's been completed. And then the last step on the telephony system is what we call task entry. Upon completing the departure call, so that when you're pressing 2, you will be asked to enter in task codes. On the blue care plan that we talked about in the client's home, there's a list of tasks that need to be accomplished with each visit. Next to those tasks, for example, make the bed, there'll be a number. For example, make the bed might be number 87 or whatever it is. That number 87 is a task code. Please follow the prompts on the phone and enter in the task code for each task you performed during your shift. When done, press 2 to clock out and wait for the thank you goodbye before hanging up. If you have any questions about how to put in task codes, clock in and out, you can call the office and walk through that for the first time. Once you've done it once, it's super easy. Basically, clock in, clock out, and before you clock out, you can put in task codes. Like I did number 87, I did number 92, I did number, and that'll tell us what you did during your shift at the client's home, which is required by law for our auditing for the Department of Health. So you have to do your task entry. If you have any questions about that, please call the office. Okay, response times. This is a very important thing that you follow up to the office, either by phone calls, emails, voicemails, text messages when working for senior care. The successful flow of scheduling and client care relies on it. We can't run a business unless we have those lines of communications open, and we have to be able to effectively and efficiently communicate with you as an employee. The following are guidelines, kind of as an expectation of each employee for responding to senior care phone calls and inquiries. So for example, if we send you an email, by the way, everybody's required to have email, we would expect a response no later than 24 hours. So within 24 hours or less, we want a response to that email. If we leave you a voicemail or we send you a text message, please respond in 2 hours or less. Any longer than that, we start to get worried that you're not being a reliable employee, and again, that can affect your evaluations, it can affect the client care, it can affect what the hours you get, anything like that. Senior Care communicates regularly by email with its employees. It is a requirement that all employees have a valid email address that they can check on a regular basis, no exceptions. That's just how we operate our business. If you've never used email, you're going to get the opportunity to learn how, and we can walk you through that, but everybody needs an email address. Alright, the next section is infection control and TB testing. It is required that each of our employees, including office staff, is tested for TB, tuberculosis. TB tests should be completed same day as hire, however no later than 2 days after hire. Like we talked about, you may visit your local Access office to receive a free TB test. There's more information on that on the TB tab in the new hire packet. However, if you choose, you can also pay to have one done at the local health clinic. Please print off and bring the TB form with you to your appointment. That's the TB form's in the packet that you're filling out now, and take that with you to go get your TB test done. Please remember, TB tests must be read by a healthcare professional at Access or a local health clinic within 48 to 72 hours after the test has been given. So you get the shot, and it has to be read 2 to 3 days after that. So please keep that in mind so you don't go in on a Friday and then they can't read it for you on Sunday because obviously no one's there. So go earlier in the week to have that test done and then go back and have it read. After the TB test has been read and the form completed, please return the TB form to Senior Care office by uploading it to the system here or faxing it. And please remember that the TB test form needs to be turned in no later than 7 days after hire. Also in the fall, we offer flu shots every fall at your request. You have to request it, but they are available if you want it. Environmental safety and emergency response. It is your responsibility to report any unsafe conditions in a client's home. If you feel unsafe or believe the client to be unsafe, notify the office manager immediately. We can contact the family and modifications can be made. In any emergency situation, remain calm, call 911, constantly check on the status of the client, and contact the immediate family, and then contact the office manager immediately. So 911, check on the client, contact the family, and then contact the office manager immediately. That's the emergency response protocol. If it's something that can wait till the next day, like it's a scheduling issue, something like that, you can always wait till the next day to call. But if a client emergency, I'm talking like they're unconscious or they're having a hard time breathing or their oxygen tube isn't working, whatever, things like that, then you're going to want to call the family, call the office, and if it's really serious, call 911. Okay, here's another important one. Employees are not permitted to discuss their pay rate, their paycheck, or travel expenses with clients, family, or other employees, ever. Employees are also not permitted to discuss client costs, bill rates, or anything of that nature with clients. Should a client approach you about any of these topics, please redirect their questions to the office. Should you have any issues regarding your pay or travel expenses, please contact the office to discuss your concerns. Do not discuss them with the clients or other employees. Any employee found discussing these things with clients or client's family may be subject to disciplinary action, including termination. We don't kid around about that kind of stuff. Also, another important thing, personal matters. Please leave your personal matters at home. When you come to work, we need you to give 110% to your clients. It is okay to talk to your clients about upbeat and exciting things in your life. However, never discuss negative or depressing matters from your personal life with clients. This may seem harsh, but experience has shown that a lot of our clients are already suffering from depression themselves, or they may just misinterpret the negative things going on in your life. As such, please be upbeat and share only positive experiences when visiting with your clients.